Today's video is sponsored by Toast Rack for when you don't want sweaty toast.
I don't know if there's anybody watching. Probably not. It's Tuesday. It's 3:05. Why would anybody be watching it Tuesday at 3:05? That's what I'd like to know. I thought I'd start a stream, start a live, see what people were up to. I can tell you people aren't watching this. There's currently one person watching, and that's her judge, and she should be working. So really, really random. Yeah, here we go. What's everybody up to? Oh, Judge, what are you up to? Do you want to? Oh, Jason's here. Jason, do you want to see? Do you want to see some beautiful samples while you're eating your lunch? I've been trying to find some interior cloths for Jenny. Where bloody hell have I put them? Oh, they're here. Ugh. So I've got a short list of yes and a long list of no's. I don't know whether you've seen these already, Jason, but this one, it's like these ones are like leatherette. Oh, you can't beat a bit of leatherette. This one's a bit too samey. This one's black, which could be used in various places, but not in the door card centres, I don't think. And then I tried to get some that would match the seats, but that one's too dark. That one's too light. Too dark and too light. So and then I got this one through the post this morning. And it's my idea was it's like a bit of a stitch one, and they had a more expensive one, but I thought I'll get this one. This might be all right for roof lining or something, but it's a bit crap because look, the backing thing just peels off really easily. So it's more designed for when you're sewing it together for stuff, but it's annoying because that pattern's not too bad. So that's back in the no pile, but we've got this colour leatherette, which I think is probably about the right, and then this funny suede effect thing for either on the door cards, or I might do the roof lining, or both, to be honest. But I've still got a few more things to go through. So since there's 5 people watching, but only 2 people talking. So what are you having for your lunch, Jason? I've got crackers and cheese, but let's see if anybody can guess what cheese it is. Can you see? You might be able to smell what cheese it is. Anybody see what cheese it is? This camera's funny, isn't it? Look, this camera focuses on my cheese really well. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised, to be honest there, Rudge. Oh, a rare beef and onion sandwich with hot horseradish. That's your kind of go-to default sandwich, isn't it, Jace? If I remember rightly. Isn't that your normal collection caper nourishment of choice as well? Unless it's Mustard's manifold meat, which is a different subject altogether. Or Judge knows what cheese it is. And Barry's here. Great things. No, it's not knob cheese, funnily enough. I don't eat knob cheese, Barry. Weird. It is Port Salut, which is probably me pronouncing it terribly. There's not much flavour to it. Someone has said on Facebook, and because they've not authorised StreamYard to know their name from Facebook, it just says Facebook user, which sounds a bit like they're addicted and they need to get Facebook in their veins. all the time to be happy, which also sort of ties into the non-profile pitchness of it as well. Anyway, and they say, is that Cathedral City? And it is not. It is not Cathedral City. It's just some French soft cheese called Port Salut. So there you go. So what's everybody been up to on Tuesday between morning and 3 o'clock? Jason says, no, not since I got my food. Yeah, okay. Now it's a staff curry on Collection Calamities. Food flask. Is that like this kind of thing that they did that Top Gear special on, where they had to trying to deliver the dinners for the workers faster than the train would do it? And I think Hammond had a Mini Cooper. I can't remember what restaurant had. Probably something terrible. It's 9 a.m. where Barry is. 9 in the a.m.s. So that's probably a good time for a random stream, maybe. Hello, James. I'm glad you could join us. And I hope you've had a good Tuesday up until 3:15. Ooh, they were tiffin tins. My flask is better insulated, keeps food piping hot for 9 hours. 9 hours is a very specific time. What happens after that 9 hours? Is it like hot ice? Barry says it's quiet at work so far. Well, I don't know if it's quiet at my work, but I've got Tuesdays off to do car stuff. And quite frankly, everything I've tried to do today has turned into a disaster, which no doubt I'll explain in the video when I can be bothered to edit it together. Oh well, I did one kind of win, so not been a completely wasted day. James says I'm slacking off work to watch in my van. Jason says he's edited 2 videos, cleaned out a fish tank, and prepared the Silver MG TF for a MOT tomorrow. Good luck with the MOTs. I don't think I've had a problem with mine so far. No, everything's MOT'd. Jenny's MOT'd. Henny passed her MOT with just a couple of advisories. Margaret passed with no advisories. The Civic passed with one random weird advisory, which is the tyres are becoming misshapen. And I'm like, how can the tyres become misshapen? The round tyres that are on round wheels. And apparently the inside tread is scalloping, so it's kind of rolling the treads off. So I thought that possibly could be tracking, but apparently it happens on bikes, on Focuses and Mazda 3s, because they're the same setup. But yeah, it's very, very strange. So I need to swap the front wheels around at some point so it starts wearing them down the other way. Barry says my Jeep passed its equivalent of the MOT. We do it every 2 years. Every 2 years seems reasonable. Although, can people be trusted? People can't be trusted to make sure that the car's up to scratch as it is, without having to give them 2 years to make it sure it's fully a death trap before they have someone check over it. It's like them adverts for Halfords, and I know it's not aimed at people like us that are car people, but it just makes me shudder. Like, oh, my windscreen wipers are smearing. Do I need new ones? Well, have you tried cleaning your windscreen and your windscreen wipers? Is it still doing the same? Maybe just buy some new ones, figure out how you fit them on yourself. Halford. Who pays Halfords to put windscreen wipers on? I were going to say who pays Alfred to put headlight bulbs and stuff in, but some of them can be a bit tricky. Although I changed both side light bulbs on Henny today, and I thought it was going to be a massive pain, and it was only a moderate pain. I think it only took me 10 minutes. I were gonna have a go at it and then film it, and once I'd done one side, and it was sort of that short a time, it wouldn't even be bothered to film it. It was pointless. Jason says Minji is the last one for the MOT, then they'll all be done. That's good. Did you manage to find stuff for Stigbert then? Is he? I know he's got an MOT. Is he fully up to Stigbert standard again? I miss most DLIs. Occasionally I watch. Because I work from home Wednesdays and Thursdays, I tend to sometimes catch up with lives the day after, but they're not the same when you're not there. In the moment, they're not the same. Also, Jason, I need to show you how it'd be good if you and Mustard could do a joint stream, and this StreamYard thing is really easy to use, but I think the only caveat is I think one of you needs to have a PC, because I don't think there's a mobile version of the sharing thing, but I could be wrong. Barry says I need to show you our workshop at some point. That'd be cool. Captain Mustard would be a bit sick. Jason says, did you go in through the wheel arch? Yes. I mean, I've got kind of small hands and thin arms anyway, so it's not too bad. So generally it's awkward. She were on the ramp, so I couldn't even move the wheel out of the way. So yeah, I had to go up through wheel arch. The side lights aren't too bad because you can kind of on the near side you can kind of see where the hole is for the light where it pushes in, but the other side you can't really get to see where it is, so you have to feel around on there. But yeah, it's not too bad, to be honest. Because I had to do a headlight bulb the other month, so I've kind of figured out easier ways of doing it. It tends to be one arm up through wheel arch and then other arm at top to try and guide wires so you're not getting stuck on anything. So it is doable. It's definitely one of them things that's massively awkward, but it's definitely doable. And then I tried to take one of the rear light clusters off today and gave it up as a bad job because the locating lug snapped and the screws won't come out. So I've had to try my best to try and secure it again, but I'm not sure whether it's going to stay there. So I'm probably on the lookout for some Tora rear light clusters, so I can, when I take these off, if they break, I've got new ones to put on, or at least better ones to put on. And Rob from Beards and Bangers is here, and he says, hello there. Well, it says hello, folks. But hi, Rob. AJ says, for new tyres being fit to Stigbert Friday morning, then he just needs ABS ring and the seat repair. He's driving beautifully, though. Honestly, I still think you better get in another seat rather than a repair one. Because you're still not going to have an airbag in it anyway, are you? Or you could have put an airbag in it. Also, why is Rob not working at this time? We already know what Jason's having for his dinner. What's everybody else had for the dinner / breakfast? I really got nothing to talk about. Oh, Rob's working from home this afternoon. That's good. Whose home are you working from? Don't you work from people's homes all the time? Barry's having some fruit. Understandable. Judge has had steamed salmon. Well, how rude. Part of my fail today. Oh, Jason says, I'm waiting for a full set of blue Alcantara ones. I'll tag you if I see any. Rob works on large construction sites normally. Okay, but they're generally going to be people's homes, so that was my joke I was trying to get. Barry says, open up the stream to guests. That could get interesting. And Jason says, and the midday meal is lunch, not dinner. And it's not, it's dinner, and then it's dinner and tea. It's dinner and tea, Jace. Sorry to disappoint you. It's dinner and tea. Jimmy Quinn's here. Hi, Jimmy. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, part of my fail this morning was I was trying to fit some Temu bought LEDs to Henne, but they sent the wrong ones. They sent the ones with the pins that were directly opposite each other rather than an offset. So that was the first part of the disaster. The luncheon Tina. Yeah. Exactly. It's so confusing if we're trying to arrange to go to my parents or for them to come here for a meal, because Julie calls it lunch and dinner and we call it dinner and tea, and it just gets confusing as to when we're going. Yeah, you're right, Jace. Tea dances, they take place mid-afternoon when you'd be having afternoon tea. And dinner parties, they take place at tea time, obviously. It's not difficult. It's not a difficult concept. It's random, this, isn't it? 3:20 on a Tuesday. What kind of day is Tuesday, anyway? It's not got the existential dread of Monday. It's not got the at least we're halfway through of Wednesday. It's not got the God, I can't wait until Friday of Thursday. It's not got the at least it's Friday now, it's the weekend soon of Friday. And it's just a non-day, isn't it? It's just a day that's just sat there. Random. Somebody think of a topic. It's a shit day. You're right, Jimmy. It is a shit day. I didn't even want Tuesdays off. I wanted Wednesdays off, because Wednesdays off would break the week up. And my second choice was Friday. Didn't get that either. My third choice would have been Monday to make it an extra long weekend. Didn't get that. And then I said, well, Thursday or Tuesday, thinking possibly Tuesday's better because Thursday's a bit, oh, I'm off then. Oh, I'm back in work for a day. And I, got Tuesday. That's a good question, Barry. That's another random question. Barry says, have you met any famous people? We'll not let Jason answer that one. Have I met any famous people? I don't. Depends on your definition of famous, I suppose. I don't think I have, to be honest. Ujj's question is, let's talk about sleep. How well are we sleeping? How many hours, etc.? Well, personally, I mean, everybody else is quite free to tell us all their sleeping habits. I don't know, it's difficult, isn't it? I'm up at 5 Mondays and Fridays, and I'm up at 6 on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I have to go to bed pretty early. Yeah. So it's difficult to get sleep. It's hard to get used to going to bed early, to be honest. And getting up early, you kind of get used to it. But I do end up feeling tired most of the day. It's hard to get good quality sleep, especially when you've got cats. Jimmy Quinn says, when you're retired, every day is the same. I can imagine. Jason says, I don't snap. I don't nap. I'm asleep within 20 seconds of getting into bed if I'm on my own, and I get a solid 6 to 8 hours. I mean, yeah, I've never worked shifts, except when I worked at Virgin Media, and we had what we're at now. We're at 1:10 or 2:10. I think it was 2:10. We had a 2:10 shift, so from 2 in the afternoon till 10 at night, and that were like 1 in 5 weeks, I think it were. But I've never worked proper night shifts, so I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know if I'd cope with it, to be honest, Chase. But yeah, you probably get used to it like that. Rob says he once helped Jeremy Paxman change his wheel. He was off to film Newsnight and didn't want to mucky his suit. You mean they don't get changed when they get to work? That's very weird. Jimmy Quinn says 5 hours. I couldn't operate on that, although I tend to kind of operate on that. I find that if I go to bed at like a normal time, which I should do, I always end up waking up at like 3 or 4. Again, that could be completely cat related because they are nuisances. Even if you don't let him in bedroom, Cookie sits there meowing and then tries to take the door off its hinges. Barry says, I've met all the touring car drivers and a bunch of other racing drivers. Mario Andretti was my fave to meet. Oh, I met Shaky Byrne from British Superbikes, and and had a couple of words with him. Yeah, there's not many famousy people. I'm not a big famousy person type character, if that makes sense. We were saying this the other day. I can't remember who I was talking to. I mean, I could have been just talking to me saying that happens. That I'd much rather sort of talk to some like in the motorsport or car sort of arena. I'd much rather talk to the guys that are in charge of making sure that the cars are working and the filming guys. I'd much rather talk to them than, for example, Richard Hammond or Clarkson or May or whatever. Although May might be more interesting because he's a bit of an engineering guy, isn't he? But yeah, not the celebrity things. It's not for me. No, thank you. Blackline, Steve W. Blacklines, you know more. I get about 5.5 hours a night, no matter how hard I try. I get a second wind at about 11 p.m. for a couple of hours where there's no way I can sleep. Yeah, I do that. It's almost like the post-gig thing, or even practice nowadays. That doesn't happen very often. If we have like a late practice and it finishes at like 10 or 11, then yeah, there's always a couple of hours where I can't wind down. Udgy says I go to bed and then that's when I decide to rethink my life, make plans, have grand ideas, and next day I'm too tired to do any of it. Yeah, I can imagine. Jason says, you've met Joseph Lloyd. When it comes to famous, the beige bomber is right up there. True. Rob says, Louis the cat wakes me up at around 6 a.m. by biting my ear. That is a bit rude. Louis. Tell him, Rob. Tell him to stop being a douche. Just tell him straight to his face, stop being a douche. I don't know whether anybody's been watching Rob's videos, but we've had some more Mazzy content recently, which is she's looking quite spiffing on those videos. I'm quite impressed. And I'm assuming she'll be up for saleage at some point soon. I had so many plans for today. So many plans, and they all fell by the wayside. I were even going to get Margaret out and give her a wash because I've not cleaned her since I took her to the um, Project Nigel meet up, but can't be bothered. It's going dark now. Nah. Cats are really good at waking us up. Like Jack kind of always lays on my leg so I get stuck and I can't move. Cookie has this ability or this tendency to jump on the bed and then slowly walk over your head and lay on the pillow somewhere. She's very annoying. Rob says Mazzy's or Miranda. She's ready for photos. Probably advertise her on Friday. So keep your eyes out, folks. If you're after a Rover 75 saloon facelift connoisseur, I think she is. I can't remember. We just threw peas on her. Is there any peas included, Rob? Jason says, okay, Range Rover L322, L320 or Discovery 3. I'll say all of them because I have no idea which any of them are. No doubt everybody else knows which one's which. But I don't know. I'll put up a Connie SE diesel but manual. Connie SE, so like better seats maybe. Renault 5. I'd quite like a Renault 5. But are they too sought after now to consider getting a base model 3-door and pimping it up boy racer styley and fitting a Clio 172, a Renault 172, Clio 172 or something in it? That'd be cool, wouldn't it? I nearly bought a Renault 5 that had got a Clio engine in it, like the Phase 2 Clio, I think it was, like the 1.8 injections they did, not a 16 valve, an 8 valve, I think it was. Back in the day, but I didn't. I don't know why. Why would you not? If I had that now, it'd be like the perfect car. The Renault 5 is like the epitome of hot hatch shaped car. It's quirky on the inside, it's quirky on the outside, it looks gorgeous. If I win the lottery, I will buy a Renault 5 Turbo. Jimmy Quinn says, Phil Collins got me a drink. I met all the professional darts players from the 80s and lots of groups from the 70s and 80s. I worked for Ladbroke Security. That would make sense. Yeah, I suppose in the security business, you're meeting famous people a lot, I would assume, in certain circles. Maybe not the famous people that you want to meet because it's work, but there you go. Barry says, a car famous for its hot start problem. Well, the Renault 5, I'm sure we could sort that out. Jason says, Phil Collins was brilliant. I remember him beating Eric Bristow, the crafty cock ring. Barry says, I met John Lowe. He comes from Chesterfield. And Steve says they're bringing out a new Renault 5 EV. I think I might have seen that. Let me have a look. See, I can see how it's trying to pay it. Let me share it. Let me share it so everybody can have a look. Click. I think it's that one. There we go. Yeah, I can see how it's trying to go for that. Oh, there's even an Alpine version. I can see how it's arcing back to them. I think I have seen that. I remember them lights. What's this illuminated headrests business? It's all right, doesn't it? But is it going to cost $1 million billion? I don't like them wheels. I must say, them wheels are awful wheels. I saw a red one that looked like a Gordini on one of them. That's a good comparison shot. Let's have a look at that one. Oh, there we go. Nah, there was a red one. I don't think I'll be able to find it again. Let's see if it shows up at the bottom. No. Oh, there we go. So then, what's that? Turbo 3. Agree. Renault 5 electric turbo looks like a pocket rocket in. Oh, it's a Blitz rendering. Okay. Okay. Well, certainly not for me. I would love to have an EV in some respect, but they cost too much. They're not viable, and the older they get, the less I trust the batteries in them. And then batteries are a massive chunk of money compared to what the car's going to be worth. It's going to be, I would assume, a lot faster for the car to be non-viable to repair if it's a battery job. Rob says, looks nice, but where does the engine get the cold air from? And Matt's here, and he says, a daytime live, and then his head explodes. And then he says, hello. Hi, Matt. And Skick is here. Hi, Skick. Hope you're doing all right. He says, when I feel like a change of daily drive, I like to find a real low mileage, good condition, 10 to 20-year-old car. Makes things more interesting. That is a good way of doing it. It is a good way of doing it. Yeah. I keep thinking about getting rid of the Honda and getting something else, but it's just too reliable and comfy. It just does everything it needs to too well. So I'd be a bit silly to get rid of it now. Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Cars are one of them hobbies where you want for the next car can far outweigh your actual ability to buy him and keep him on road, basically. Like, as soon as Jenny's done, if I've not got rid of one of them before then, I'll definitely need to get rid of one of them just so I've got enough room to put them, basically. So I think Margaret's going to be for the chop sooner rather than later, when I've done a couple of more things to her. Where did we get up to? Steve says the daily needs to be reliable. Exactly. That is true. Matt says, I like to change my daily driver as often as possible, or as the local Bobby calls it, TWOC. Oh dear. Oh, Jason, I agree, Skick. A 20-year-old Escort can be very interesting indeed. Bloody hell. Well, we've been going for half an hour worth of nonsense. What other nonsense have people got to point me towards rather than electric Renault 5s? In fact, should we just have a look at if there is any Renault 5s for sale on Auto Trader? I bet I can't find any. Auto Trader. In fact, why am I not sharing screen? Come on. See what we can find. CF Moto, Skick, while you're here. CF Moto seem to be pulling the weight recently with new bikes. I can't remember whether I've shared that on a stream already, but there's a new 600 CF Moto sports bike coming out. It looks all right. I did used to like that Hyosung 6, but that's 650. Oh, apparently quite heavy though. Stop talking, Simon. Get on with it. Oh, these 6 Renault 5s on Auto Trade. Let's have a look. We'll go price highest to lowest. So Renault 5 Turbo, £18,500, 127,000 miles. That doesn't do it for me. That's too much money. There's a Cat C1 for 15. 14 grand, immaculate example. That sounds more like it. I mean, 4.5 grand difference between two adverts is bonkers. Or a Gordini. Oh, look at that little thing, bless it. And then we've got just over 4 grand for a 1.4 auto, which is 5-door. 2.25 for a 1.4 auto, which is 3-door. Would there be any legs in converting that to something else? Oh, it's 5-door. It says 3-door on advert. You fools! Yeah, numpties. You ruined it. That's 5-door, isn't it? Yeah, so that's a lot of money for a Renault 5 GT Turbo, I think. What about a Clio? Did they just call them Renault? Oh, RSI. This is the same as I used to have. Blooming heck. So this one's been painted up to look like a Clio, a Williams Clio, but it'll be an 8-valve. Has he even put Williams seats in it? Yeah. It doesn't look brilliant, does it, this? It's got dials in the middle and all sorts. Oh, it's been Barry Boyd. Awful. 10 grand. Awful. See what other ones we've got. Oh, V6. Let's have a look how much they go for. Jeebus. 73 grand, 58 grand, 55 grand. I mean, at least there's something specific about these that's different. But yeah, it's pretty expensive, isn't it? What we got going on here? Matt says, I never understood the term TWOC. Surely no theft is with the owner's consent, or does asking at gunpoint count as the owner's consent? Well, exactly, taken without consent. Without owner's consent. W-Bat was the last film. Oh, what was the last film you saw at the cinema? It was the last Star Wars film. I can't remember what it's called. And Steve says TWOC is taken without consent. He goes, that makes more sense. I only got told it once, and they said taken without owner's consent. Never made sense, though. Now I know why. See, this channel comes useful education. I thought it was taken without owner's consent, to be honest, but never mind. We can live and learn. Robert says, would rather have a Gordini. I think it's a good price. That's a good price, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now then, Citroen AX GTs. My mate had one of those back in the day, and to me, it just felt like it weren't put together very well. And the boot was plastic, and it felt super light. What are 172s and 182s getting nowadays? Let me have a look. I don't know what they call them as on there. Is it just Renault Sport? Or is it Renault Sport Cup? They change all the blooming names so much. Oldest first. Oh, here's some. Right, let me share this screen again. Or am I sharing that screen? Here we go. So there's this one here. I've gone from oldest first. So let's say 3007. Oh my god, it's been Barry Boyd. So it's got silly wheels on it. It's got dual exhaust on it. The Megane seem to be better value for money than the Clios. If you can get, there's a diesel Renault Sport Megane that's quite nice. Back to results. Let's see what else there is. 5.5. It's got cold air kit on it. See, they're not cheap as chips anymore, are they? Yeah, I'm not even impressed with that one, to be honest. They're a lot. That seems to be a lot of money for a bit of a shed. Oh, 2. See, this looks more like it. It's got proper wheels on that it should have on. Oh dear, it's gone and got a random steering wheel on it. Which I don't mind, to be honest. It doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I'd go for that. I'd go for that one. Unless it's cracked and that's why it's cheap. This looks like it'll be a standard one. Let's get to inside. Let's have a look at pictures of inside. Yeah, bog standard. Well, you'd have thought they'd have cleaned it up a bit. Look at all the muck and stuff around here. There you go. That's what they're fetching nowadays, Rob. Last film that I watched at the cinema, says Steve, was Top Gun Maverick. Oh, we got that on Blu-ray. I did like that film. It was very much a homage to the first Top Gun, but I liked that. Kind of liked that. It was good. Matt says, support Yachts 24, buy my old wheels. Oh yeah, Matt's got some old streety wheels for sale that he's selling. I'm trying to. They're weird, them wheels. I don't think they look right on anything other than a Streetwise, but maybe that's just because I've only ever seen them on a Streetwise. Maybe if you've still got them in a few months' time, Matt, I'll have them off you for Jenny. Although I'd quite like some of them OZ, is it Turismo ones that are like the rim and then lots of tiny spokes and then like a bigger disc in the middle. They're kind of cool. Barry says, I hate Clears. My girlfriend, when I was 19, I had one. I refused to get in it. Oh, Steve says, a 106 Rally Pug. Now then, I do like them. And that was something I did consider getting, a 106 Quicksilver and tarting that up. Let's have a look. Because I know the rallies go for silly money. Peugeot, where are you? Peugeot 106 Rally. Oh, there's 3 of them. There we go. So 12, 15. Oh, there's one here for 10. And that's a 1.6. Random. Yeah, so they only got 3 extra brake horsepower out by increasing it by 300cc. That is a bit. Oh, this one has been tarted up as well a bit. Let's have a look. Am I even sharing this? I'm not even sharing it. Come on, Simon, get a grip. So here we've got one. I'll go back to the beginning. So it's 9,250. It's got bonnet pins. It's got a roll cage. Looks lower. It's got bucket seats. Nice aftermarket steering. Oh, look how big that gear lever is. Oh, I do like this. Oh, we should have not looked at this now. Oh, very nice. But is it something that you could use on the road though? That let's say no, and let's have a look at the other ones. So what would you say? Should we go for? We'll go for this one. 11.5. Let's see what inside of this one looks like. It's very tidy. Yeah, very nice. Got some good tyres on it as well. They are lovely little things. Oh, I don't care what radio is in it. Oh, that might be quite useful. Oh, hello. Very special. Let's, for completion, we'll have a look at the other one as well. So is it 15 grand? Okay, so it's had a full rester. They are nice little things. Apologies for going too fast. Well, that one's got a special steering wheel on it as well. I assume they don't have airbags, and thus it is super simple just to switch everything over. We'll have a look at Quicksilvers afterwards just to see what they're like. Oh, he's got original steering wheel with it as well. Very nice. Very nice. So look at Quicksilvers. Here we go. Oh, it's just one. See, even they're expensive. Look, they've only got 75 brake horse. It's tiny. I know the car's not very big, but still, you'd up for something a bit more meaty than that. See some inside pictures, but yeah, when all's said and done, they're a nice little car. Apart from that, is it them that have got the same rear axles as? Is it Saxo? And it's like a bit of a problem area apparently. Yeah, I like that, but I'm not sure I'd pay that much for one. Let's have a look what the cheapest 106 is. If we were, for example, just going to find something random to track. This is a 1.1 for 800 quid. They all have super low engine power, don't they? Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's a case of finding a good one, even if it is just got super low engine power. 90 brake. Has to be 3-door though. Let's go mad. Let's go for 3-door. Where's doors? There we go. And then, was there a power thing? Engine size. Minimum. 1.6. Right, let's see what we get here then. GTI. GTI for same money as a Quicksilver-ish. Oh, these are more expensive. Yeah. Everything small seems to be getting more expensive, which is weird. Where did we get up to? The red one is nice, said Rob. Yeah. Afternoon beers and bangers house. Rob, says Matt. Not too bad. Thanks, Matt, says Rob. I think most French cars are shit, said Jimmy. Yeah, I was saying the other day as well. It's like, if somebody said to me, do you like French cars? I'd probably go, don't know. I can't think of any interesting ones. But then when I actually see some, I'm like, yeah, actually, I do like the 406 Coupe, the first one. I'd have one of those. I've always fancied a Twingo, and there was some at the NEC that had been modified. They were like a rally Twingo that were gorgeous. I'd have one of those. Clears I like, yeah. Renault 5s, obviously. There's plenty. The more I think about it, there are more French cars I do like. The Citroen C4, where they did 3 and 5-door versions that had different back ends on them, they were weird. I kind of fancied one of the 3-door ones for a while, and they did a Sebastian Loeb one, but it just looked odd. It looks like somebody had stuck a Halford special spoiler at the back of it. Oh, and Rob says that he will also be selling some Streetwise wheels to raise Year of the Streetwise 2024 funds. So that's good. So if anybody's out there in need of any sort of Streetwise wheels or wheels that will fit an R3, You've got 2 sets there. Barry says, to Jim, agreed I wouldn't have a French car if you paid me. Ali Mack is here. Greetings, Ali. Hope you're all right. Ali Mack, for those people that don't watch Ali Mack's channel, has recently acquired a Cavalier to potentially, hopefully, save. And I am watching that with great interest. I kind of like old Vauxhalls. That's another thing I was looking at. When we went to the NEC, there was I think Rob filmed it. I didn't film anything. I just did Norman and Ernest stuff. I was too card up to film anything for me, which I kind of regret now. But anyway, there were Nova Saloon there, and I've always hated the Nova Saloons. But there were one there, and it was proper tricked out, and I really liked that. So, yeah, even older cars, they're up. I think it's the same as everything, isn't it? It's like it's when they start getting to that kind of age that you find them interesting, and that's when they start getting to be lots of money because everybody else finds them interesting. But anyway, yeah, Ali Mack's got himself a Cavalier, and hopefully we see that being saved. And Matt says there for the yacht pot. Steve says, I'm feeling very under the weather today. Blooming sinuses. My ears are throwing me off balance. I was queasy last night. That is a horrible thing to have when you can't keep balance and you feel dizzy and stuff. And it seems to be one of those things that's going around as well. There seems to be a few people that have got sort of colds and that sort of thing. It is the change in weather, isn't it? And I know everybody's forgotten about coronavirus now, but I assume we're on to different strains of that. So that'll be coming back at some point, I assume. Hopefully everybody's jabbed up, if you can be. Matt says, to Steve, although he's put Stewie, I've just spent a couple of weeks fending off several bugs. Barry says, I wouldn't have an Italian car either. Looks nice, but the reliability is horrendous. There's some nice Alphas I'd like. Again, too many ideas of what I want to buy and do up, and not enough money or space. Rob says, I've had sinus trouble, Steve. Took 2 weeks to speak to a doctor, but finally have a steroid spray, which is working. Steroids, they're amazing things. Oh, Steve says 2 weeks is driving me nuts. It's like sounds are amplified. I had to turn the radio off the other days. It was too much. Matt says pedals were too offset in a 106 for me. Legs like mine have knees in the wrong place for small cars with offset pedals. Barry said I couldn't get in a Saxo, couldn't get my knees under the wheel. I passed my driving test in a... Was it a Saxo? Pretty sure it was a Saxo that I took my lessons in. I can't remember whether it was Saxo that I did my test in, because for the day of my test, my instructor was ill, so it was another instructor, like the guy that owned the driving school, that took me to the test, and it was a different car. But I can't remember whether it was a completely different car, if that makes sense, whether it was just another Saxo. But I didn't mind it. It were only third car I'd ever driven anyway. So. And Tommy says, good afternoon from a chilly Dublin. Hello there. Rob says the 306 was the best French car he'd owned. Ali Mack says, I've had a few French cars. I hate them. Their electrics are weird. I never had to work on mine. Someone ran into my Clio one night on a moped, smashed up wing up, took a door mirror off. Somebody else backed into it and put a dent just under the rear window. And then eventually what killed it off is somebody came through a red light at me, and I swerved to avoid him and walloped into the curb, dented the alloy wheel, bent the lowest swing arm, so I ended up claiming it on insurance and then selling it. And now, obviously, it's worth 10 grand because that's where that 1.8 RSI is priced now. Steve says, my sister died in a saxo when she was 16, death trap. I still remember the advert with a big hammer hitting the side, proclaiming their safety. Yeah, I suppose space safety kind of moves on, doesn't it? From stuff like minis. Can you imagine minis going through any sort of safety test? But yeah, terrible when anybody dies in any sort of motor vehicular accident. And it seems to think things like dash cam footage seems to find its way onto Facebook Reels really easily. I'm surprised they're not a bit more keen to stop that kind of thing being on there. Matt says, I also have a BMW E91 load cover to raise money for the yacht pot. And Pingu is here. Greetings, Pingu. Hope you're doing all right. And that your Tuesday at 4:00 is an agreeable one. Ali says, I served my time with Vauxhall, a few Cavis and Vectras and Astrids in my youth. Oh, yeah, that was something I was looking at the other day, actually. Vectras, because you can get, they did a V6 Vectra, didn't they? Maybe that's a good next direction. Ali had an Alpha 156. It was okay, but too many sensors. Yeah, I think that's the problem when they started doing all electric stuff. That everything got a sensor on it, and they weren't necessarily built to last, were they, at that point? Matt says, I can't type on a small screen. I'm sorry, Steve W. I'll make sure to get it right next time. Steve W. or Simon won't let me have soup on Saturday. Rob says, all these small cars have possibilities for the ongoing series. Cram Matt in a small car. This is true. This is something that I've not really pushed. It's wrong time of year to be pushing stuff. Maybe it isn't, actually. If anybody's got a small car they want to see if Matt can fit in, let us know, and we can add it to our portfolio of small cars that Matt tries to fit in. Matt says Citroen BX. Oh, yeah, had the handbrake on the front wheels. That's weird and not helpful to a 20-year-old either. Yeah, they did. I like BX. I'd quite like a BX, one of the sporty ones. Yeah, Steve, it was on the front wheels, and there's always that joke going around that MOT's failed and your handbrake didn't work, and it's because they've been testing it on wrong wheels. I've had that happen. I've known that happen before. Matt says, I've given Sam a little idea for Matt. Does Matt fit? But we need to locate the car first. I'm sticking as passenger in future ones, but I had to drive the Mini. Definitely. Matt says, without dash cam footage to upload, there's nothing. Yeah, your dash cam footage ain't people crashing there. That's the thing. Barry says, I swore by my Amiga. Mine was a V6 X-Police car. Loved it. See, there's a friend of ours that's got a Colton that's just been sat there doing nothing for years and years. They're a big car. I'd quite like to see if that gave us could bring it back to life. So he says, I had a V6 Vectra B SRI spec. I think that's what I've been looking at. It was nice, but the check engine light randomly came on very regularly, despite nothing being wrong. Oh, and Ali says he had a 2.5 litre V6 SRI Vectra B. It was a good car until it started rotting away. So maybe they're a good thing to look at, because I was starting to look at Cavaliers because you got one, Ali. But yeah, maybe the Vectra's the other bit to own to go at. Pingu says, have you had a nice day off? It's been a fail day off, which I will edit the video shortly, because we've been going for an hour now, so I'll disappear in a bit. Yeah, it's been all right. I managed to get one good thing done, and then quite a few other things didn't go very well. Rob says there's an MGCC meet up at Gaydon this Sunday from 9 a.m. if anyone's interested. I don't think I'll be there. It's a final F1 race, isn't it, this weekend? Plus, I'm out on Saturday. And Steve says, my favourite cars I ever owned was a Honda Prelude. I was looking at one of those before I got Margaret. I do like those. And Alpha 156, they're nice. I'd have either of them back. What about your Sleek? How's that going? Matt said I would have gone, Rob, but I've hopefully got a busy Saturday, so Sunday's a no-go for me. Ali says it's cold and dark up here now. Yeah, it's getting dark here now. It's getting dark, and it's not been very warm today. I started spraying some bits in the garden, and then literally, like 30 seconds later, there was that fine rain mist that spotted everything. I was like, God damn it! So I've had a bit of a non-fail day painting wise. I did manage to find some Rover Gunmetal Grey in Halfords, which I've not seen for ages, so I've got another can of that now. Pingu says my latest 306 purchase has been decent car up so far, apart from its tendency for tram lining. That's not good. Steve said the Sleeker is fantastic in every way. I just always wish I'd gotten the 190 version. Yeah, but you might have got the 190 version and realised that it's not that much better than the other one, but you pay more for tax or insurance, whatever. Potato. Matt says, remember there's a Rover Discord with a voice chat option. So this is something that Matt and Adam have been trying out. But I must admit, Discord is totally not my bag. So I don't know if it's how it works. I don't know why people use it. So maybe that's something for Matt and Adam to try and push. Yeah, I'm not a Discordy person. I'll have to look into what it is that makes Discord a thing and why people use Discord. It's to me it looked like a forum, but where you could do voice calls. But I don't know if that's generally what it is. One of my friends had a Twitch channel which they had a Discord page for, and that kind of linked into that. But it seemed to be very much a gamer's place, so I don't know how it works for non-gamer stuff. Steve says, I actually chose the 140 version simply because it had a fabric interior. I didn't want the leather, and I also wanted the manual fan controls instead of the climate control buttons. Good choices, actually. Climate control's fine, but yeah, it's not got that fixability, has it? Unless you just buy a new unit. Ali Mac says, I only use this code for gaming. But I don't think I've ever used it at all. But we're all open to new avenues to share things while they're not owned by Meta or Facebook or whatever. Well, at that juncture, be going live for 1 hour, 3 minutes. I shall call it a day and get on with editing my videos. So thank you very much for joining, everyone. We had Boat on there for a while. Matt, Steve, Ale, Rob, Udge, Pingu, Steve, I've already said, Barry. Was Skick on there earlier? I thought I saw Skick's name. Tommy Hanlon was there. Jimmy Quinn joined us. I thought I saw Skick. Skick was there. So thank you, everybody, for joining. It's been lovely talking to you, and I shall see you all again on Monday. Take care. Bye.